The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of After Elite. This is the go-home show to the big pay-per-view, which is All Out. I am, of course, your host, Orlando, and I'm joined by Seven tonight. Unfortunately, it's going to just be me and Seven for tonight. So I know Gary wanted to probably talk about the show, but he had a little early meeting that he had to do, so he'll probably join us again.
Yes, that he will.
Yes. And how are you feeling tonight, Seven?
I'm good. I'm a little in the dark today. For some reason, my ring light isn't working.
Oh, no.
Tragic.
Well, I mean, at least it's still a little sunny where you're at. So, I mean, of course.
A little bit.
Yeah. Seven is in the West Coast. Okay.
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay. So while he tries to fix that up, so we're going to go ahead and discuss what happened tonight on Dynamite. I mean, some little blockbuster type of announcements. Of course, they kind of announced some more matches for the All Out card. So we're kind of probably get into that. And of course, we have to talk about that main event, but we'll get into that though. So, there you go. Now it's better. Yay!
Yes. Apparently, I forgot to plug it in before the show started. So, you know, that's just how it goes.
Yes. So let's just go ahead and just kick it off with Dynamite, where Jon Moxley starts off the show. He gets into the ring. He's walking like a proud champ that he won the championship, you know, and he decides to talk some smack in Chicago, of all places, you know. They say don't try to talk smack to the Chicago people. I mean, I heard some boos. You heard some boos, right?
Yeah. He definitely didn't get the normal reaction that he gets everywhere else, but of course it was towards CM Punk. But the weird thing about it is that Mox was like, yeah, you can boo me, I don't care. And that's probably really true on his part. He don't care.
Exactly. I mean, the proof is that he's holding the belt. He's like, I'm the champ now, you know. You know, he said like, you know, Punk choke. I mean, literally.
Yeah. I mean,
Moxley, I just have to say, like, Moxley, the past couple of years in AEW, he's been amazing. Like, I think he just enjoys the fact that now he could just not have to rely on a script to say a promo. He could just bring it up in his head, and then, you know, it's just magic when he talks. It's just, his promo work is just amazing. What say you?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I mean, Mox, I don't even want to call it a promo because I feel like he just shoots whatever he says or thinks at the time.
Right, exactly. I mean, like sometimes he's like he tells a story. Other times he's saying facts. Other times he's just giving us some BS. You know?
Yeah, Mox is just always going to give us Mox.
Exactly. It's just like, you gotta love it. So of course, he then had like a little contract saying like he still has the main event of All Out. He doesn't care who he faces, so we're just wondering who's going to be facing him. Everybody was like thinking, was it MJF? Maybe Hangman Page? I mean, who was it? But unfortunately, towards the end, after he leaves it in the ring, his friend, Punk's friend Ace Steels, his former coach and trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so comes and picks up the contract. So everybody knew, it's going to be CM Punk versus Moxley. So I think it kind of like how they're going to build this up, which we'll get into as the show progresses. So everybody was just like, how they're going to build this, because he already lost in Ohio. Now they're going to do it at All Out. So it's just like, you know, yeah. we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Yeah. But of course, the first match that kicks off the show is, of course, Bryan Danielson versus Jake Hager, you know. And they had a great wrestling match, I have to say. Bryan Danielson hung in there with Jake Hager, and then Jake Hager was showing off his MMA and wrestling styles. You know, it was really good. How did you feel about the match?
I actually really enjoyed it because, I mean, we all know that Bryan Danielson is a wrestler, right? So it was really exciting to see. It was just like a UFC fight, like the way that they're trading back and forth. It was very MMA style, but it was in the pro wrestling type of world, right? So it was really cool to see the two, how they mixed it up. And honestly, I feel like this is one of Hager's best matches that I have personally seen him go against. So I hope he goes back proud because, I mean, Danielson is absolutely amazing. Um, he's able to do everything. Look at the bumps that he takes each and every week. And I do want to bring up the comment that Sunshine just made. It didn't make any sense for them to fight in Ohio just to do it Sunday again.
Mm.
Honestly, I'm right there with you. But, you know,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
what it is.
I mean, we'll kind of get into that. I have my say of it, but I think you have your say of it as well. But we'll get into that. But
Yeah.
of course, Brian Danielson picks up the win, and then of course, Joss comes try to attack, Brian Danielson, but of course, BCC.
Joss.
Let's not confuse it with BBC.
Sorry, Regal.
I know, right? I feel bad for Regal. He had to do that mistake. You know.
And especially like the word. Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar, William Regal tweeted something about dominance, and hashtag BBC, and it's
Yeah.
supposed to be
And,
BCC.
I mean, for us gay people, that like touched our little gay hearts.
Yeah, absolutely.
But of course, he had to delete it, and then he just had to apologize. Of course, like spell check and stuff like that. So, you know, um, but yeah. So, but of course, BCC takes away Joss, and then of course, Jericho tries to come and attack Jericho. And I forgot to mention. Before the match happened, Jericho had an interview talking about his match and then thinking about who Stewart would pick between him and Danielson. But then Garcia comes out and then he apologizes and he's like, I want to still be a part of, Joss, so
Joss.
he wants to be a sports entertainer and stuff, which I'm like, you're a wrestler, damn it.
Right. I mean, honestly, he is a wrestler. But I'm actually really excited to see where it goes. I think that this story is not anywhere close to being finished.
Yeah.
As
I
far
mean,
as, is he a wrestler? Is he,
yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, like, he took away the chair from Jericho because Jericho wants to attack Danielson, but of course that kind of backfired, and then like Danielson, got an upper hand on Jericho. So I think I have a feeling that Jericho's going to win at All Out. Because I mean, you never know. Maybe they decide to give it to Danielson, but they could still have Garcia still turn on both of them. No, I mean, like there's different directions that this can go. So I mean, I'm excited for it. So.
I think that no matter what it's going to happen, like neither one of them need a W when they go against each other. Like the loser is not going to go back like anywhere.
Mhm.
They're both still going to be prominent on television. So it's going to be really exciting to just see the match. Like for me, this is hopefully just going to be a really good match.
hmm And I see some comments. It's like somebody's ready to talk about it, and then somebody else is like, they want to hear our opinions. We'll get to it. Like, just you got to keep watching. You know. I mean, we just got to
Yes.
build these suspense. People.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Then we go leave, and then we come to a commercial break, and then of course the wingmen are protesting because they're saying that they want to be on television. Which I mean, a lot of the AEW talent would like to be on television, but I see what they're doing. I like what they're trying to do, which is smart. But then surprisingly, W Morrissey comes out and then
Right?
just destroys the wingman. So okay, so there was reports saying that WWE was very interested in W Morrissey, but we don't know if it was because of the Vince McMahon regime or was it Triple H that maybe is interested, but then he decided not to do it. I don't know what happened. So
I don't know. Honestly, I mean, if we bring WWE into this right now, it could be an hour show, and we got a time limit.
yeah, exactly. But you know what? I think he would fit well in AEW because they're starting to have a lot of giants now. So I would like to see him with Jay Lethal's partner. You know, uh, Simon Singh. I think that's his name. Yeah, I think I would like to see them face each other. There's nothing wrong with that.
Honestly, hmm,
Oh, just give
never
it
mind.
time. How about that? Just maybe more time. You just need
No,
more
no,
time.
I think Morrissey's great. I think he's fine. But honestly, the roster is so big, and there's only so much you can do.
Yeah,
It's just like,
exactly. hmm But of
people
course,
are going to continue to get pushed down.
but it's interesting that Stokely was out here and then he was giving out his business card. Of course,
No,
Tony.
it's not.
Oh, it
No,
isn't.
it's not. It's not interesting. You want to know why? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, it's
I
okay.
do,
It's okay.
but no, you want to know why it's interesting? Because he's out there every show doing the same thing over and over. It's a
Yeah.
gimmick, and I like it, but it's not like
Okay, okay. But no, because like it's a new person that's just coming out. I thought it was like established talent, but I digress. Anyways, but then of course Tony Schiavone wants to know why is he doing it, and of course Stokely doesn't want to answer him, and then he gives him attitude. I was just like, oh, are they going to fight? And then I heard a Tony chant.
You know what, Sunshine? You're out. Can you bring Sunshine's last comment up about some people are going to? So I think what he's referring to is my comment about the roster is so big, and this is true. I am often forgetting that Ring of Honor is part of them. I don't know what
Yeah.
their plans are. I feel like currently what we've seen is that it's more or less kind of just like, oh, they'll do pay-per-views here and here, and it's kind of a mixture.
What?
If it actually has a chance to become its own brand, then yes, they do have a big portion of the roster that can get a ton of TV time with Ring of Honor, whether it just be an hour show or whatever they end up planning to do. They just kind of need to do something, or they're going to have a lot of unhappy
Well, I mean, there is reports saying
wrestlers.
around October they're gonna do like some tapings. So I'm thinking that's probably gonna be the Ring of Honor tapings. So around
Yeah.
October time. So I'm thinking that's probably what's gonna happen. I think what they're trying to do is finding another network. Just so I'm thinking that they're still trying to work that out. So I don't know where they're gonna have that placed. So oh, I like this comment. Stokely is Paul Heyman of AEW. I don't know about that.
I
Paul
mean,
Heyman.
possibly.
Yeah. But Paul Heyman, like he has the decades of like managing and producing and stuff. So I got to give Stokely at least another year or so to describe him as that. But
Yeah.
yeah, of course. And then of course, then we go into commercial, and then we come back from commercial, and then we get an interview from United Empire, and then Don Callis comes to try to sweet talk Osprey, which is I you know I
I
yeah.
mean, okay. I didn't hate it. Okay, so I'm a huge Will Ospreay simp. Like, I absolutely love everything that he does. I think he
Mhm.
is pound to pound one of the best. I'm gonna say he's the best wrestler in today's wrestling.
Of course.
Um, but with that being said, like I love his. I mean, he's supposed to be an ass. I love that I hate Don Callis. Like I'm supposed to hate him for the TV, right? So like even though I'm rolling my eyes on it and like I'm like disgusted, whatever, it was a great segment because it provided everything it needed up until the taser part, and then that was a little.
Well, yeah. Anyway, we'll get into that anyways. But um, this comment right here. So there's like they have it big enough for Ring of Honor pay-per-views. I wouldn't mind an all women's pay-per-view. Just saying. I mean, if they can put more than one women's match, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, they do have a good roster of women. They just showcase it besides Dark and Elevation, you know. And there was just a report saying that Warner Brothers didn't say they didn't want, they didn't say that they wanted just one women's match. So that was false pretenses. So
What I will say about that is there if they used, and I say AEW, I kind of feel like we're shitting on AEW. That's not the point. We're just because the roster comment came up.
mhm,
If they used Elevation and Dark as more of an actual show, kind of like
mhm.
like their version of like an NXT or those type of shows where it's actually an addition to where you're actually putting on banger matches and just not focus on the squash matches, I think that you'd be able to have a much fuller and wrestling,
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I
more
remember
wrestling there.
NXT when Triple H took over, like it took him like at least 7 years to get a TV deal because he got it in 2012, and then they didn't get a
Yeah.
TV deal, like an actual TV deal, until 2019. So he had it in the network, which helped, and people were talking about it. So, I mean, people would have been talking about the YouTube shows, like if they had a lot of banger matches. Speaking of women, we had the next match, which is the women's tag match. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida. Happy to see Hikaru Shida back on my TV. Um,
Yeah.
I have to say, like, I felt a little scared for Jamie Hayter because Hikaru Shida did like a her Karana and like she almost dropped her in her head. Thank God she was able to still continue. I was just like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, to be fair, that's what the Hurricanrana is meant for. It's supposed to drop you on your head.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But like they had a good back and forth, and of course, Hikaru Shida picked up the win, so the faces won, and then of course they gave each other respect, and then of
Hmm.
course they teased about the fatal four way. I I thought that maybe the heels will win this because I want either Tony or Hikaru Shida to win the title, but it seemed like it'll probably be Britt or Jamie. I would love it if it will be Jamie Hayter, and that would give some more intrigue for the Britt and Jamie, like dysfunction happening. Like, oh, you now got the belt, and things like that. Yeah. So, yeah, so it's just an interesting type of thing. So I mean, the matches were incredible. So I have to say, all four of these women had great chemistry. So what say you? Did you enjoy the match?
Honestly, at that point, like my attention span was not allowing me to watch it in full, so I didn't really pay much attention. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, no, it's okay. No worries. And of course, we had like little promo package from Kip Sabian and Pac, which they just announced they're gonna have the title match for the All Atlantic Championship at All Out. I'm excited. This was Kip Sabian's first televised match, I think. I
Uh,
think.
yeah, I think he was at Rev Pro like a month ago, maybe.
hmm yeah. So yeah, so I'm excited to see Kip Sabian back. I mean, he looks buff, like he looks like bigger. So
Also, Sunshine, WoW is dropping a new season on the CW.
yeah, yeah, and also they're gonna be on they're owned by Viacom, so they could probably be heading to Paramount. So they got a streaming service
Oh,
probably as well. hmm
nice.
Yes. hmm And then of course they agree about Sheeta nor Baker needs the belt now. I hope JB doesn't hand Baker the belt. Oh no. Well, you know what? They would probably do something like that. Like, Jamie gets the win. She's like, ah, crap, I just beat her. And then all of a sudden, like, they gives the belt to Baker or has her beat her or something like that so that way they're in good graces.
Yeah.
Oh, the person says, thank you, Brian. I'll be there. Of course. And then we had a Miro promo with Darby and Sting. It looks like they're setting up them versus the House of Black, which I'm excited. Do you want to
Hmm.
see Miro's wife come in? I have a feeling like because Julia Hart is probably going to get involved, and like CJ Parker, she's been saying some stuff about Jamie on Twitter. So
Here's the thing. I hate saying anything negative. Actually, it's not that negative. I am totally okay with her doing a one-off. Do I think that Miro needs her? Maybe. I don't know what their plans are going
yeah,
forward with him. Do I necessarily think that she needs to wrestle? No. I think that she needs to be in the wrestling business. I don't think she needs it, period. I think she's very successful within on her own.
right,
And it's one of those things like, does wrestling necessarily need CJ? No, because I mean, it's one of those things where her fans are still going to continue to be her fans, and a lot of them are going to be wrestling fans, etc. So with that, I just absolutely, I would love to see her as a one-off, as a surprise. Do I necessarily think that she needs to be there week in and week out? Not necessarily, unless she wants to and is going, that kind of thing.
well,
No,
for,
Sunshine, please keep commenting. We love communication.
I think Miro and Sage are just for Julia, not just so much of wrestling. Oh, yes,
I kind
and
of
of course,
agree. Yeah.
please keep on mentioning, keep commenting. We're going to continue talking about the show, so please and share, please. We would appreciate if you all share, like, subscribe our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Twitch. Also we have a Patreon. We would like some support for a Patreon, please. And
Yeah, you could always join us for we watch it live together and we all comment and talk a bunch of crap that we would
yes.
never say on air just because it's funnier. And also I don't want I don't want stuff out there that I've said.
It's perfect.
No, I'm just kidding. But like,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Hmm. Yes. Oh, that's sweet of you. Thank you as well for joining us tonight. But you know what? I think it would be smart to bring in CJ Parker because she is going to be in the reboot of Surreal Life, which is going to be airing probably on Paramount Plus. That's associated with Viacom. That's going to be good attention for them.
Which also was filmed a year ago.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and like she could still do movies. I mean, she did do Pitch Perfect, and then she did
Yeah.
some other movies. So she could like still do some movies and stuff. So, and then of course, here's the segment that we have to talk about. So Punk comes out and he looks drained, sad, moping. He's walking slow to the ring. Commentary was mentioning it that he was walking very slow, like something was wrong with him. As he enters the ring, the fans are chanting for him, CM Punk, CM Punk. You could see tears in his eyes. He feels like he's defeated. Now, this part I kind of like because I like the fact that he feels like, he let people down because he is home, so he was like talking about that, talking about his foot surgery. But then he went and dissed a fan in the front row, which that's unfortunate. But I mean, he is CM Punk, so
I don't know. Okay, so this is the thing. If the fan said something really mean or like outside of wrestling that wasn't appropriate, then that's fine. Like I don't have a problem with that.
yeah,
But at the same time, he went in. And, I mean, depending on what he said, like if you say
yeah,
something off the wall to me, I'm probably gonna. I'm a pitbull. Like I'm gonna attack you just as bad and lower. I'm
yeah,
not saying that's a good quality of mine. Don't get that twisted.
yeah, of
But
course,
with that being said, I
yeah,
just you're bringing in your body shaming somebody, and that's just not a good look.
yeah,
But again, I'm going to possibly give him a pass for it because I don't know what the other guy said. The cameras went to him, and it kind of seemed like he was like, "Well, I don't know." Like, so I don't know. I'm a little.
yeah,
It could have been in poor taste on his part.
yeah. But anyway, so he continues on with his emotional promo, saying like maybe he returned really quickly. He doesn't know. He's like doubting himself. And of course, his friend, his family member, Ace Steels, comes out, introduces himself to the crowd, and then he hypes up Punk, tells him that you're not a quitter. I mean, like you may have a defeat, but come on now, you're in Chicago now. Like he hypes him up, gives him the contract because he did take it, and then he gives it back to him. So sign the damn contract so you can get the title. And then that's when CM Punk got pumped up, and then the crowd was getting pumped up, And then of course he signs the contract, and now we have the rematch at All Out for the AEW World Championship match.
So okay, I'm just. How do I say this?
Yeah,
I'm gonna probably anger some people, and I apologize, but this is my opinion, only my
yeah.
opinion.
It's our
That
opinions here, guys. So just remember that. I mean, we're
Yeah.
you know,
To me, as a fan, just watching, just as a fan, I absolutely thought this was trash from start to finish.
mhm,
You come in and oh, woo is me, we get emo punk, right? Great, fine. Then this guy comes in, hands in the contract, says three sentences, all of a sudden he explodes, takes his shirt off, and runs through the crowd. Like, just, it
yeah,
was disappointing. Like, we didn't need the match last week if you guys are going to do it again at AEW.
right.
Or, I'm sorry, at All Out,
All out,
whatever
all
pay per
out.
view this
Yeah,
is. Yeah, All Out. Like, to me, it was just bad.
yeah,
At
mhm,
that point, I was like, I don't know if I'm actually going to get AEW pay per
yeah.
view this time. But I mean, I will just because I
I,
have to. But
you know, I mean, like, look, there's other matches to look forward to. I mean, for me, there are some good matches that I'm actually excited for. For this, I just felt like it was just like a hometown type of hero. I mean, you can't go wrong with a hometown hero, even though that he could be a bad guy. I mean, because
I mean, okay, real quick, we're talking about hometown hero. He came out to like essentially no pop. I kind of felt like they piped in some cheers because even when they were showing the cheers getting louder, the audience was like, wasn't very enthusiastic. Which, by the way, I don't care if you pipe things, and it sounded great on TV. But us who has to watch it and pick everything apart, like I pay attention to that kind of stuff. I don't care that they did it or if they didn't do it, whatever.
But
But
yeah. But I mean, the thing is it's like, I mean, fans do cheer Punk still in Chicago. It doesn't matter. Like, look what happened to him with him and MJF. Like when they went to Long Island, like people cheered for MJF, and I mean, even though he was a dick. So
yeah,
I mean, it's just like it's bipolar. You know, it's like a bipolar town.
I
Uh,
mean, it's just there's no payoff for it.
I
So
mean,
what if
we know
CM
what we
Punk?
don't know yet. I don't know what will be the payoff. I mean, they have to do something interesting in the main event to do a payoff because
So say Punk wins.
mhm.
I
I
mean,
mean, depending
okay,
on. I mean, it's like it's going to be like on how he wins. Is he going to cheat to win? Is he going to be a heel on winning? Is Moxley going to be the heel in the match? I mean, because he kind of like got booze. You know, when he came back to
yeah.
kind of like say like it's his funeral to take this match again. You know, and then like he blames like he's saying it to the Chicago crowd, like I'm going to take down your hero. You know, regardless of how you feel about it. So you know, we got some comments right here. So it says right here, I'm completely disappointed because I thought someone else was coming out to take the contract. Complete waste of time. I hope they will not take the belt off of Moxley in Chicago. I mean, it is Chicago. I mean,
It's hard to say. I will
exactly.
say one of the things that I was thinking that it was kind of leaning towards with the contract being open is that two people were going to go out there and it would have been a three-way dance. And I figured it was going to be Punk, Mox, and I was thinking possibly Page, just
Hmm.
because in rankings he is number two, and also before I knew he was part of the triple threat. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, this is just even if Punk turns heel in his own hometown, he's still not going to get the reaction. I mean, I just think
He's
that
not gonna get. He's not gonna get the booze. I mean, there are gonna be maybe some shock faces, but I mean, then he's not gonna get any booze. I mean, unfortunately. And I like this comment right here. It's like he's not looking forward to unless there's a plot twist. That's the thing. There has
yeah,
to be some sort of plot twist that to really invest people into this match. I mean, it's just I don't know.
I don't know. As a fan, I'll be honest, I just don't care
Okay.
about this match.
Well, this comment right here, unless it's Punk wins and then MJF comes back. I mean, I don't.
But even then, like, what's I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
I don't
see.
know.
I'm gonna
What?
give them. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see. Okay. So after that happened, then we had a sit down interview with JR, and he's interviewing, Jungle Boy and Christian Cage, and they went back and forth, and then towards the end, of course, Jungle Boy said, "You're not fighting Jungle Boy, you're fighting Jack Perry." So seems like he's he's taking this really like personal. So so I'm actually interested in this match because I think they're gonna have a good match, and I'm thinking that Jungle Boy is probably gonna be really heated, and he's gonna probably maybe it's gonna be whatchamacallit, it's gonna be really where it's gonna cost them the match because I think Christian's gonna win the match.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I think they're gonna be a great match. Like,
Yeah,
I kind of forgot it. I kind of forgot about that match altogether. So I'm kind of like looking forward to it.
yeah. I mean, and I like this comment right here. It says, "For sure, Christian will get Jungle Boy." Or okay, yes, of course. Well,
Yeah.
not more over with the fans because the fans are already over with Jungle Boy, but more sort of like maybe learning more of the psychology of wrestling because, like, I think John Moxley did an interview saying like Christian Cage knows something when it comes to psychology and wrestling that is missing that a lot of people don't do. So
Yeah.
which I think that's a good thing to have. Like if he's gonna be a backstage producer, if he wants to finish up, or if he's gonna wrestle other people to like help them, really craft like what they can learn when it comes to wrestling.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then we have the next match, which is FTR and Wardlow versus some AEW enhancement talent. They're just showing off just what FTR and Wardlow can do. I'm actually excited for Jay Lethal versus the Motor City Machine Guns. Got a for my TNA Impact people, excited for that. I mean, a lot of people are questioning like why. Why is it that because like the Motor City Machine Guns are faces and Impact, but they're going to be playing heels here? But for me, as as a fan of Impact Wrestling, I don't care. I just want more people to see Motor City Machine Guns because they're great. I mean, the Bucks talk about them a lot in their book. I mean, a lot of people talk about the Motor City Machine Guns because they've been like a tag team for over a decade and a half. So I want more people to see them.
Yeah. I mean, I love machine guns. I think it'll be a great match. The only thing I will say is in Orlando, I know this was just a slip on yours. This isn't towards you. But like when we're talking about wrestlers, don't ever call a wrestler enhancement talent
Oh,
or jobbers or anything else.
my bad.
Because no, I mean I know we've had this conversation because they like unless you went through the training, like you just can't like I don't know. It's just, and this isn't towards you whatsoever. I'm just saying it like to anybody who's listening. Like, it's really disrespectful to any wrestler because the training that we had to go through to get to any point, even to be on the show, even if it is a squash match, like it is so brutal, and you deserve to be called more than enhancement or whatever. You were an indie wrestler that was on, Dynamite. Congratulations. You guys must have really impressed somebody to be able to do that. So I'm proud of you guys. So that's the only thing I'm going to say on that.
Okay. Okay. So good to know. Oh, I like this comment. Wonder if it's going to be a one-off. I mean, they don't really have like Impact is dealing with an issue with contracts. That's what like a lot of the reports are saying. Like because a lot of people are leaving or they're coming to just do like one-offs. They have of course, Fightful did a story about Lady Frost, and then of course, the Good Brothers. They're about to finish up their run in Impact, and they're going to go to New Japan. It seems like. So Madison Ray just signed with AEW. I wouldn't be surprised if Motor City Machine Guns signs with AEW, and they were in Ring of Honor for a little period of time, so I wouldn't mind them helping out with the rebrand of Ring of Honor, you know.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, a lot of interesting press coming out from Impact,
Just,
but that should be a whole nother show.
I just want like FTR versus Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah,
I just
that'd
want
be
that.
amazing.
Just yeah. Sorry. hmm Of course, and then we had a backstage interview with Evil Uno and Ten. Of course, Ten is injured, and then Evil Uno was about to take place to help out Silver and Reynolds. Protocol. And then here comes, Andrade, and then he wants to get, 10 to join him because, of course, he wants the muscle, but he wants them to take off the mask, which I think he has a thing with taking off people's masks. So, yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
I thought the segment was fine. Like it was short and it got to the point and it told the story and it showed why Hangman is now part of the triple threat, which seems kind of weird, but not really considering how the main event ended.
Yeah. I mean, the trios match, you mean.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay. And of course, we had the next match, the Fatal Four Way, Dante Martin versus Roosh versus Ray Phoenix versus Rita Lulita. This right here could be like a heavyweight championship future match. Like these four men, I mean, like this was incredible. There were so many dives, so many counters, so many stuff. Like I mean, like Ray and Dante, they have great chemistry together. It's just like it seemed like Ray has great chemistry with anybody. Like it's just like with when he did that trios match last week with Osprey, and then he started off that chain wrestling, that fast chain wrestling. I was impressed with that. I was like, damn.
Mhm. Yeah. Can you put up Sunshine's comment real quick about the hate
Was it just
or
me?
Hangman? Yeah. So yes, I agree. I saw that too, and I was like, "Ooh, child."
Well, I mean, I think maybe now he's gonna doubt it because of one, which we'll get to the main event. So maybe that has something to do with it. So
Well, they all used to be homies, so I don't know.
mhm, yeah. Well, and then of course Willa won the Fatal Four, which is exciting. Oh, they did announce the Casino Battle Royal ladder match. Well, Casino ladder match. I'm sorry, let me correct myself. So they did announce a Joker. So I'm wondering who's going to be the Joker this year. Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many free agents out there that they could pick up that could be really good.
I'm still gonna say MJF is gonna be the Joker for his return because like
Oh, is this the ring one? No, this
yeah,
isn't the ring.
no,
Where they
it's
get the
it's a,
ring.
well, I mean they kind of make it as a ring for like a title match in a sense. So I mean we'll see. Oh look, we have a comment saying the shade, LOL.
I feel like that was towards me. Was it towards me? Because I
I
do
think it
throw a
was
lot of
probably
shade.
towards you. Yeah, it was probably towards you.
Yeah, like nobody's gonna like nobody in watching or like anybody that we know is gonna be like, oh, that wasn't towards Brian. Of
No.
course not. No, it's like that's gonna be their first guess.
Yeah. So Rampage is going to be live this Friday. So the finals is going to be, of course, Best Friends versus Page, Silver, and Reynolds. You know, I mean, I wouldn't mind it if Best Friends win because they at least deserve to be in the finals because they have been a trio since the beginning. All of these three guys, they've been a trio since the beginning of AEW. At least a little like thank you very much for like what you have done, but I don't think they're gonna win because it's gonna go to the elite, um, which we'll get into that. I'm sorry, but
Uh, I think Dark Order needs it. I mean, what sense? I mean, they haven't done anything in almost over a year. So
right,
I mean, I think if anybody needs it, it's going to be Dark Order. Um, yeah, I don't
yeah, yeah. This comment right here, me and you, Brian, had the same reaction.
know.
Yes, of course. Now then, we get to the main event, which is United Empire, excuse me, versus the Elite, and
Yes.
who starts off, which is Osprey and Omega. I didn't expect them to start off this quickly. And I just love the shade that he gave to Justin Roberts to read before his entrance. Like, Omega did this first. He did this better. He did this.
I would love, love, love to see Will's face when that was actually written. I have a feeling like he didn't even know that was gonna come out. I mean, maybe, who knows? But
No,
like,
he probably was laughing. He's like, this son of a bitch. He's just like,
absolutely. I would have loved to seen or hear his actual reaction to it because it was pretty priceless.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, of course, the match was high paced. The crowd was on their feet, like chanting, "This is awesome! Fight forever!" I mean, so many counters, so many different like moves. We almost had almost a 3 count, but of course, the Bucks kicked out, after a big old like finisher, and so we continue on. And of course, towards the end, Omega hits his one winged angel for the win, and then of course, Omega and the Bucks win to go to the finals.
Yeah, it's just so weird that they can kick out of all these devastating moves, but the one-wicked angel, like, oh, you're done.
For me,
Yes, okay, so that is shade on my part. I apologize.
yeah, yeah. But for me, I just feel like this match should have been on the pay per view because I think they would have gotten more time, and I think it would have probably been like the the match of the night for the pay per view.
I honestly think that should have been the main event or not the main event. Well, maybe the main event for All Out. I think that because it wasn't, I think that it made this episode really predictable. I
Yeah,
just like I knew who was going to win before they even came out because they're not going to have Kenny and them lose.
yeah.
Obviously, when you're management, you're going to put yourself up for. Sorry, I'm just a shady bitch today.
No, no,
um,
no. I mean, it's just like this week in wrestling, we were expecting some great things, but it's just like some of it is just questionable. Some of it is just it just like it. There's still more questions than answers that we want because. So I mean, but
it,
I'm excited for All Out. I'm excited for All Out. I'm excited for the weekend because, of course, Clash of the Castles Saturday. Of course, Worlds Collide Sunday afternoon, and then of course Sunday night will be All Out. So, so
yeah,
that's we're on the same page again, Brian. Hello.
high five.
Yeah.
Uh,
Again, predictable. That was predictable
yes.
because they
So
weren't going to let Omega lose.
look, all for nothing. Like even though it was predictable, it was still an amazing match. Like it
Yeah, of
was
course.
still easily a 4-star match, right? Or a 5-star, whatever it could be. Like there was nothing bad about that match because there
Five
were
stars. Yes.
points. There were times when I was like, oh shit, does United Empire actually, are they going to take it? That would I, but at the end it wasn't. So, I mean, at the end of the day, when they came up with that match, it was absolutely amazing. It was really well thought out because I was second guessing the predictability for a minute, but the outcome ended up being so.
And I have to say, like, Aussie Open is just like an incredible tag team. Like, it's just like amazing just to see. Like, I think this helped them for people to really see them who they are. So I'm excited for them.
I mean, if nothing else, I mean, thank you AEW for bringing Aussie Open into them so they can get the exposure that they deserve, because they were absolutely stunning and amazing. We all know I'm a big mark for Will, but also the Aussie Open were absolutely amazing, and I was sincerely impressed. Like that double body slam, he like I can't remember if it was Matt or the other one that couldn't quite get up. That dude just was like, I don't care, fuck it, I'll scoop both of you and just willpower you over. And to do that, to be honest, it's hard to do, period. And to do it with two, because you throw yourself off balance, because you're doing it all with your full strength and your feet are positioned a certain way. And you're like, he is amazingly strong and needs to get so much kudos for that one simple, well thought out move, because it was absolutely amazing.
Exactly. Of course, this says all the matches were amazing, but you can tell how some things were going. The main event definitely needed more time. I mean, it needed a pay-per-view length type of time, so.
Absolutely.
So in closing, I have to say, like, it was I'd give it maybe a 3 out of 5, because, like, it was decent. I mean, the main event was amazing. That helped give it points. And then, the CM Punk and then John Moxley stuff kind of was like, and then, of course, the Fatal 4 was good, and then the women's match was good. So, I give it a 3 out of 5. I would say you.
You would rate it a little bit higher than I would. I'm actually not going to rate it because I'm not big into rating it, because that's my own personal thing. I will on our patron chats though. I'm much more ballsy about what I do. With that being said, I thought it was a decent show. I didn't necessarily think that what was set up was necessarily the best way to set it up, but you know what? I've shit on them enough tonight. I'm going to leave it open, and I'm going to go in and watch it with an open mind and see. I mean, because I've been completely where like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to see it, and then I watch it, and it ends up being really good. Exactly. I have a feeling it could be one of those things where I'm just not completely sold, or each of us can be in a mood. Maybe I'm in a mood.
I mean, like, of course, our very own Sarah, she worked today, so she was in a mood, so she couldn't join us, unfortunately. I mean, I'm kind of relaxed because, like, I came from working from the office. I'm just like, oh, yay, wrestling. And then I was like happy for the main event, and the main event satisfied me. So that's all I needed. So
yeah,
that's for me. Before we go, let's just say congratulations to the new women's tag champs, Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez. So happy for them. Look, for Aaliyah to be in NXT for almost 7 years, to finally go into the main roster, and then she main evented. This is her second main event as a main roster person, and she finally wins the tag belts. I have to say that's impressive. I mean, it's unfortunate it has to be against Dakota and Io, but I'm just wondering where they're going with this. So.
I mean, hopefully they're going to review the tapes and actually know that Dakota wasn't the legal person. But that's fine. No, Sunshine. We're not going to talk about it.
But you know what? Actually, this is best to kind of announce something, though.
Oh, what are we announcing? I'm so scared. I don't know what we're announcing. What did I do?
The return of the Chop Shop, where we're going to just talk about WWE. It's going to coming soon. We'll let you guys know in the near future when the Chop Shop is going to be coming, so that it will just be separate. Now it's just going to be one show about WWE and one show about AEW. So all of you that don't want some WWE talk on your AEW shows, don't worry. There's not going to be any more. Okay? So let's all relax.
Yeah. Also, with that being said, we also have some more live shows coming this way. I think we're doing a prediction podcast sometime this week. I don't know. I think there's like a couple that are coming this week.
Yeah, I mean,
I
we
forgot
have
to
like,
write them down.
yes. I mean, yeah. As a, in my opinion, people, I hope people don't get too excited because Vince is still around. I mean, he's a shareholder. I mean, he's not really like in control of the creative. I mean, there's a difference between like controlling the company and then just being a shareholder. I mean, you can give him,
Honestly, for me, I don't care if Vince is still around because right now the product is better than it's been in a long time. So even if it is behind him in the master wheel, he's changed it and super impressive. If he's not and it's Triple H that's doing so well, then that's awesome. I don't care. Right now they're doing a bang out product, so
yes.
that's all
And
I
of
care
course,
about.
excited for the Chop Shop to return. Yes, baby. Let's go, baby. Yes, of course. I'm excited to bring it back. Yes. It's been a while, guys, like now that WWE is getting good, we could talk about so many things like what's going to happen in Worlds Collide, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I'm excited.
Yeah, and we actually have hosts that will actually be there.
Anyways, so please stay tuned as we're going to announce whatever we're going to do predictions, maybe do an after show of all the pay-per-views, the premium live events, things like that. So, do you want to go ahead and announce anything else, Seven?
No, I've just been throwing a lot of shade. Like since I started throwing it, I felt like I had to end it on a good shade. It's hot. Okay, so let me be honest with you. It's hot. I live in Portland. It is hot. It's been in the 90s for like 2 months now. We are not used to this. We are like in the 80s, low 80s most of the time. Y'all just need to watch how you're all talking. Like, seriously. What do you expect from me?
I
Just
know,
kidding.
exactly. Exactly. Well, then, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We'll end it right there. Please stay tuned. We're going to announce a lot of things. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your people, to like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that places. Be our Patreon, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, glad it was not me throwing shade. All right.
Just him. Yeah, or just Sunshine.
All right.
Yeah, so I just want to thank everybody for watching and continuing our support. We are working really, really hard on bringing you some of the great content. We've been at this for about 2 years now, and we found what works for us, and we are so excited to continue to grow. We are even now on shows. We're going to indie shows, and we're being able to be sponsors for them. We have a lot of great things that are coming our way, so stick tuned. You know what? We're just going to call this Bucklebomb 2.0 because there's a
Exactly.
lot of new things coming.
Exactly. So stay tuned, everybody. And thank you very much for joining us. And y'all have a nice night.
Nah.